Welcome back to day 9 of our self-improvement bootcamp. This is David Ricklin from selfgrowth.com. In day 8, we learned about the importance of belief and confidence. Today we're going to cover a very important area, learning from your mistakes. And I've had quite a few mistakes. If you're trying many things, some of them are going to go wrong. There's no way around it. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. You're not stretching yourself. Winston Churchill used to say that all men make mistakes, but only wise men learn from their mistakes. And Oprah Winfrey added to Winston Churchill by saying, there are no failures, only lessons to be learned. I want to share one of my favorite personal and very real learning from my mistake stories. Let me take you back to October 1994. I was enjoying my work and feeling very civic-minded, so I decided to run for city council in the town where I lived, Hoboken, New Jersey. I was young and energized. We had 40,000 people living in my town, and we had what we called a bedroom community. Most of the people in the town worked during the day and came home at night to sleep. I loved technology and thought that I could use it to spread the word about my campaign by using technology. I didn't have much of a budget at the time. I decided to use an automated phone messaging system. Many of you are probably familiar with the technology now where you get these automated calls, but it was relatively new 10 years ago. You recorded your message and the computer automatically called the people on the phone and left messages for them on their answering machines. I spent countless hours writing and recording the perfect message. I spent even more hours getting everybody's telephone number, inputted it into the computer, and I was ready to go. Every single person in Hoboken, New Jersey was going to get a personalized call from David Ricklin, future city council member. I love this idea. Early one Tuesday morning, I set up my computer to make the phone calls and I left for work. All day I was excited about the impact these calls were going to have on my campaign. Everybody was going to know me. Then I came home that night and found out that Murphy came to visit that day. Apparently, the computer started to run slower and slower during the day. By the time I came home, I was leaving messages for people that sounded a little bit like this.
My name is David Ricklin, and I'm running.
I think you get the idea. I turned off the computer and I listened to my voice messages. I never heard so many angry messages in my life. I learned a few new words that night with a blunder that might have possibly cost me the election. And in case you're wondering, I didn't get elected. My lesson was extremely clear. Check and double check your technology. Technology can be your best friend, but don't let it get the best of you. My challenge for everybody listening is to try to learn from their mistakes. And don't forget that it's also important to learn from other people's mistakes. I have a few ideas for everybody listening to help you learn from your mistakes. The first step is to analyze what went wrong and think through what you can do the next time. Really think it through. What went wrong and what could you do next time? The second step is to develop or implement what we might call Plan B. Very simply, Plan B is an alternative plan to accomplish the same goal. It's also a good idea to have your Plan B ready even before your failure or mistake. This way you can jump right into Plan B without delay. Many of the other things you can do fit into what I describe as mental learning or reframing. When you've made a mistake, focus on what you have learned from the mistake and how this will make you better, stronger, and faster the next time. When possible, try to maintain your sense of humor about the situation. Try not to take rejection personally. Frequently, our idea or product or plan might fail. This doesn't mean we're failures. We just need a different path, a different roadmap. One common thing that people do when they make mistakes is beat themselves up about it. Try not to do this by staying focused on your original goal. And don't forget the Batman reference from our last session. The question was, why do we fall? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. Make sure you learn from your mistakes and pick yourself up. And our question of the day is, what have you learned from your mistakes? Think about it. Put it in the notes below, put it in the comments below. And once again, thank you for listening and being part of selfgrowth.com.